Okay. Christine, you ready? Okay. Evening, folks. Christine Powers, lead us in the pledge, please. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, calling this Town of Johnsburg Town Board meeting to on April 15th. I need a motion to accept the minutes from April 1st, please.
Motion. Second.
Any questions or conversation? Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Okay. Next is a resolution to approve 7 individuals planning zoning. This is an event, an actual conference that takes place up in Saranac. I've been to it a couple times. It's actually been very informative. And so it is going to be the folks from planning, Cork, Nestor, Paul Sears, Gabe Byrne, Dave Maston, Erwin Morris, and Will Welch, and then myself. But it's been a very good conference and very educational. So I need a motion to bring this to the floor, please.
So moved. Second.
Any questions or conversation? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. All right, next is a budget amendment. So we have, we do not have enough money in our insurance line. So Danae basically has made some adjustments for insurance for a number of different items, including, I believe there's something in there for, let's see here, municipal dues. There was no, what was it? There was something else. I'm trying to remember what it was. I think, crap. I think there was something for sewer, and I'm trying to remember what there was one. We're waiting to see. Actually, we have one more thing too. We're waiting to see if we're going to put Peter Olszewski's new tractor on it too. So I need a motion to bring this to the floor, please.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Any conversation or question? Seeing none, call for vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So for the supervisor's report, last week, unbeknownst to me, Warren County made a change to the meal site. It was actually Arnold and I had a conversation. I'm like, well, this is interesting. So I got on the phone with Dee Parks, who's the director of Office of the Aging, to find out that she sent an email to me on March 25th to an email account that doesn't exist, which means it probably bounced back. And I never got a phone call. That conversation was more than animated because they made a change to Johnsburg's meal site without notifying me. I followed up and chatted with John Taflin, the county administrator, on Friday. I met with him yesterday, and I also met with the treasurer yesterday. And today I spoke with Dave Strainer, who is the chair of the Health Services Committee, and that is where Dee Parks, the Office of the Aging, actually most of the stuff that goes through there. There wasn't a resolution. We can't seem to find any notes in the minutes for this. And yet this change was made without me being notified. I had put a call into Gene Merlino because I had heard from, and I'm not remembering who, about the Lake Luzerne meal site. It turns out that Supervisor Merlino, the meal site that they have there in Lake Luzerne serves on average about 120 people a day. Not only that, but they also do trips. They do shopping, they do plays, they do concerts. Next week, we're going to have a senior committee meeting, and Arnold and I had a conversation last week, and it included Peter Olszewski, where one, I would like to take Arnold, Peter, and probably Arthur Webb, and anybody else would like to come. We'll just plan a day to go over to see the Lake Luzerne meal site, because I'd like to see what it is that they do, how it's structured. The difference is that what they did is they took the meal site over. So what they do is they get money from Warren County and they operate their own meal site. Now they have to pay for their additional cook. So we're going to have to figure out whether this is something we can budget for or not. But to say, I can't even begin to tell you how frustrated I am with this whole thing. Because, and I told John Tafflin again today, no one called me. I'm the supervisor. You changed what you're doing at our meal site without any notification to me. A lot of hemming and hawing. Oops. So here's what we're up against, folks. And this again is we'll have a longer conversation about this next Wednesday. The numbers at the meal site have been dwindling pretty significantly. The numbers have been anywhere between 2 and 6 people. Yeah. Yeah. So if I may just, yeah, go ahead. Go. That's what, right. Right. But I mean, this is again going to be part of a larger discussion next week at the senior committee. I mean, a couple of questions that come to mind are, one, have we really lost so many people that are, that used to go to the meal site? I don't know the answer to that question. Is transportation an issue? Again, I don't have an answer to that question. There are just too many questions and no answers right now. So there's going to be a lot of conversation and exploration about this next Wednesday. But I wanted you to know that I found out after the fact and I was not happy. And I basically have let everybody at county know that what they did was wrong. And the fact that there was no communication is absolutely unacceptable.
Ma'am, if you will, do you have any idea how many meals are delivered? My mom gets that too. I think that's a great service.
I think Sam Allison usually delivered 14, 15, 17, and we delivered 6 to 8, sometimes 9. Right now it's 7.
Okay.
And plus the meals, the people come to the meals.
Right.
During COVID, I know we did Johnsburg 36.
Okay.
Okay.
So that far outnumbers the 2 to 6 that they're referring to so we don't want to cut that at all. Believe me, like I said, my mom gets the Meals on Wheels. This is an invaluable thing. And I believe it was either Sam or, I believe it was told me about this, that there were going to be changes. They're not eliminating, but it's still not the same. It's not served within our town. And I was a little upset about it. I knew about it before the supervisor did because it was word of mouth to the people who are delivering. Not good.
We knew it at least 2 weeks, at least 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yes, Beth. No, Warrensburg. So no?
No. Worker that
I'll get on with it.
work in our meal site, Fawn, has to go to Warrensburg. And then she comes up. And she will meet whoever's delivering Baker's Mills in Weavertown. And then we will meet her. But it's just, it's not
No. Taking services away from our residents is what it is, ultimately.
Yes, that's exactly what it is.
Not acceptable.
No. We can continue this conversation next week, Wednesday, folks. I have a lot of questions. Arnold and I have had a number of conversations about this. I am very troubled by what they did. And in my opinion, it's probably one of the, it's one of the groups that I worry about the most is our seniors, especially those that can't get out. This bothers me more, um, than I can probably explain. Bruce, this is gonna be one of those, we're gonna do a deep dive.
Do you know what it took for me to convince my mom to get Meals on? Oh, I don't need it. There's people that need it more than I do. Well, yes, you do need it.
And,
Pride
and,
cometh
and,
before
and
the
I,
fall.
and the other thing that I've said, and I mean, I want to probably just we can get on to the the warrants and committee reports. But one of the things that I've said to a few people, because as I sit here and I'm looking out at the room, but what I'm saying though is that, I turned 65 in June. I'm a senior. I don't think of myself as a senior. Right. Well,
I'm a year away.
So, for me, but you don't think about it. I don't think about it that way. And I wonder if there's just a lot of people in town that say, oh, I'm not a senior. I don't need a walker. I don't use a wheelchair, so I'm not a senior. I don't need, again, and part of it, I think, really stems from the fact that we live in a place where there's so much outdoor activity. People lead a pretty healthy life. So, yes, Mindy. Yep. Yes, and I started poking around looking at grants, and one of the things that I read, and I'm sure many of you maybe know this already, is that the more socialization, the more interaction you have with people, really slows down the process of a lot of, especially mental diseases that the seniors struggle with at times. So it's very frustrating, guys, and I can't begin to tell you how aggravated I am by the whole thing. Town building, it is their kitchen equipment. Yes, that's what Peter has told me, yes. Correct, yes. That really is kind of the where I would like to lead it down that road. That would be optimum, correct,
Right.
yes. And I've tried a couple of text messages with Roxy Freeburn. I guess you can fit as many as 92 people in that place, which I was not aware of. That's what I got to, I know, and it was my reaction as well. Yeah, it does. So, hey, I just know that this is something we need to address and deal with. Yep. So, all right. So I'm going to use that as my supervisor's report. Warrants? Sorry, a motion to bring the supervisor's report to the floor, please.
Motion.
Second,
Any other conversation? Seeing none, call for vote. All those in favor?
aye.
Aye. Warrants? Need a motion to bring warrants to the floor, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any conversation? Yep, yep,
Just,
I'll deal with that tomorrow. Actually, I've traded emails with
Gotcha.
those guys, so. Any other conversation or comments? Okay, seeing none, call for vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Committee reports, Mr. Hyde.
Well, this isn't committee, but, it's on the heels of the food service loss. A friend of mine is a nurse in the Hudson Headwaters, and this has been brought to Kevin's attention today, so this is something we have to look into.
Oh, it's true.
Notified her, but has not notified the towns that I heard that they're, Bolton, Indian Lake, Johnsburg, Chester, I think there was a fifth one, 4 or 5. may be closed for lack of providers with no notice. Yeah,
And I found that, I was actually at the
every-
doctor's, I was
yeah.
in Indian Lake today.
whenever
Whenever
they can't get a
whenever
provider.
they can't get a provider.
No warning, it may be a 24-hour warning at the max. They say to
And-
call every appointment. Pardon me? Right. But yeah, so they're shuffling some of the people around to the busier places, which is leaving places like our town and other small towns without providers at all. They can't accept any patients. They have a nurse and possibly somebody doing the paperwork there, but all they can do is just refer them to one of the others. They can't see them. So some of them are closed and some of them are just staffed with one nurse and one clerk, which again is taking services from the people of our
To
community.
our town.
As far as committee reports, the solid waste committee, doing well again with that. Mr. Horvath there, Peter, we've had some discussion as far as further streamlining our operations, both physically at the landfill and as far as our people that are going to be getting our goods, possibly getting more value for some of our recycling. And again, streamlining everything. And we're also considering the possibility of, it looks fairly likely, of doing 1 or 2 free dump days a year, something to make up for the loss of the cards. We're going to look at doing it as far as money, where we're going to stand here, but it probably will be something, would be a bi-yearly thing, spring and fall kind of thing. We'll have more on that after the next probably meeting or 2, because we've got to get a couple more cycles of our revenue to determine where we are. But it's fairly likely we're going to do that. Encourage people to not throw garbage in the ditch. One of the other things that seems to be working pretty well is the returnable thing for people, for the nonprofits. So far it's been well used both by the people using it. We're saving recycles out of our waste stream, and somebody's getting that nickel back. And it's been, I forget the organizations, but there's been the church and I think the youth group for the school, if I recall.
Baseball.
Right, okay. So yeah, it's staying in our community to our youth and the people that need it. It's good use of this. Again, it's taking more out of our waste stream, saving us money in the long run. And as far as the highway, we haven't met in a while. We'll probably, I believe it's going to be scheduled for next week for a meeting. And we'll have a little more information at that point, what's going on. And that's it for me at this point.
All right, Budget Committee met last week. It's been some pretty lively conversations about how we move forward with it. The only thing that we're really waiting on now is financial report was submitted. We probably won't know for another month or so, actually 2 months, what our tax cap is. So we can only do so much without the tax cap, knowing what our tax cap is. So we're just kind of talking about where we sit, how we are financially, which is we're in pretty good shape. We do have, some loans out to the different districts, but I think, for the most part, the town's in pretty good shape, health-wise, financially. Mr. Williams?
Yeah, sewer committee continues to meet. We're back to 2 meetings a month as opposed to every week. Everything sits with the USDA. All the bonding documents got in on time, passed on to USDA. All the insurance executed contracts got sent to USDA for approval. The only thing that that we're waiting on is that our local regional USDA office had to send the bonding documents to the national office for that final approval. They couldn't do that. Everything else was just making sure boxes were checked and documents were in. We tentatively have been given the okay to have a pre-construction meeting. We just need national to give its final approval before we can have that. But USDA said go ahead and schedule that towards the end of April. Once the pre-construction meeting happens, we are off and running, and they'll begin to build out construction schedules that then we can share with everybody. Yeah, there's not additional over and above what we have. We applied for Warren County applied for a grant that would help offset the occupancy tax money that they
To,
put in. So,
between Warren County and Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning, I believe we have about $3.5 million out there in grant asks at this point. 2 million, yeah, I mean, people reached out when this all kind of blew up. I had people from New York State reaching out to me. So, and they sent me the links, everything, and so I, Jessica Lurkey's from Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning, did it, 2 grants, one for 2 million and one for 500,000. And then there was another one that was through Empire Development Corp. That Ethan Gaddy from County Planning actually put it together. So that, like I said, at $3.5 million, I believe, is out there in grant asks. I don't,
it can only be, new money can only be used for things that have not been contracted yet. So that money would have to go to, even though everything is funded, laterals are funded, hookups, all of that. We've awarded the contracts for the processing plant, for collection conveyance, and for the electrical. So that grant money that we've applied for through Warren County will go to the lateral hookup because we don't have a contract for that at this point. And then what that would do, that money would lower than the occupancy tax money. And what the benefit to us about that is we'll be able to pay off a larger percent of the bond right after the project's done without having to then roll that as much into the loan.
the loan, yes, correct.
The town,
I'm not 100% sure. I think once we get rolling, I'll be able to give you that answer. Once we get, construction schedule and get moving along, I think we'll be able to figure out just exactly when that loan can get repaid. Yep. Mr. Steve, oh, I'm sorry.
parks.
Oh, sorry, parks.
Our parks, I need to get the committee together to look at our spring and make sure all our schedules are set. I haven't done that yet because we're still waiting on final dates and agreements with the construction concerning Ortiz Lodge and the solution for them to be opening on time. So once I have all that, then we can get the Parks Committee together and look at our summer.
Thank you. Mr. Stevens.
Well, invitations have been sent out, invitations have been handed out for prospective participants in our workshop scheduled for April 23rd here at Tannery Pond. That will be taking place from 8:30 until 12:30. The hopes are that we will wind up with about between a number of participants, between 40 and 50 people who will be there. And we will be tackling topics from meal site to transportation to communications and all things in between that that have an impact on our senior population. So that is a report from the Town of Johnsburg Seniors Committee.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'm going to lead off with privilege of the floor, if people don't mind, because Ms. Marr asked what was going on with the Copperfield the last time, and I actually have a text message from Keir Weimer. Let's see, happy to give you a quick update. We started demolition last week, making good progress there, moved all the old furniture out. Rooms will be starting remodeling efforts probably later this week. Goal is to still have the ability to open by 4th of July. Rooms, but will likely won't be finished with all the common areas and meeting space and everything until late in the summer due to some of the delays in the closing and the start of the construction. But we are doing everything we can to open for as much as of the summer as possible. I'll keep you posted as progress is made. Thank you.
To add to that also, I see that they are giving away furniture in this town to people, yeah, which I was real pleased to see. Yeah,
I'm going to ask Christine Powers to kind of give a report on the marketing between the three towns, between Horicon, Chester, and Johnsburg. So if you wouldn't mind, Christine, please. Thank you.
Is this mic on?
Yes.
Should I pay attention to it?
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. So I'm Christine Powers. My husband Larry and I are in our 9th year of being full-time residents of Johnsburg, and our son graduated in 2022 from Johnsburg. And the reason I say that is because we fled Albany for this beautiful, beautiful community where we had a rustic getaway, and we are the story of many of the people who have come here to make a life of beauty, nature, purpose, fulfillment. So I just mentioned that because listening tonight, there's a lot of challenges we have to overcome. But when Kevin asked me to serve, I have a background of 30 years of marketing, brand, advertising, events, fundraising, and PR. I said yes. And so in my wheelhouse with the tools that I have, I'm contributing what I can. So along with Lily Gachter and Anna Bowers as our backup, we're part of this working committee, which is comprised of residents and business owners from the three towns. It's being facilitated by the Northern Forest Center, and then Craig Leggett from the Northern Warren County Chamber is also on the committee. So I wanted to share with you what we're up to, and I have a survey for tonight for all of you. What are we up to? So Warren County, does anyone know the Tri-Town Initiative? Not many, okay. So through the occupancy tax process, Warren County made a substantial grant upwards of about $150,000 to the three towns to bridge ourselves and brand ourselves, because we are in many ways the significant gateway to the Adirondacks. Most of the roads come through our three towns. But as we know, much of the air, advertising, oxygen is given to the Lake George area in our county. So this is a very passionate project that actually began almost 10 years ago and finally got funded and led by Drew Capabianco. So big shout out to him. So as we know, the awareness in our area for tourists and people coming through is low. They drive through us. And there's other competition as well. The Roost, the Regional Office for Sustainable Tourism, does an amazing job branding the Northern Adirondacks. Our neighbors to the left have the Adirondack Hub. There's 4 towns that are branded together to make a beautiful identity, a shared website, and a whole, raison d'etre to come and stay and spend time with them. So what we're up to is very similar. Taking the 3 towns, we want to know, how are we different? How are we the same? What can we coalesce around? What do we have to offer as a destination within a destination? What can we do to create a brand that is an umbrella above the 3 towns and then individual to each town to develop a website, digital assets that we'll get as a town to use, and a footprint for tourism marketing? The goal, part of this is part of the solution to begin to bring people here as tourists, to have people move here, start businesses like Larry and I did. It's part of the solution. So this survey, it's fun. I have about 25 paper copies. If you want to do paper, I'll stay and hang around tonight. You can give it to me. There's also a QR code if you want to use your iPhone and do it online. It's short. The survey is being used and collected from all 3 towns over the next 2 weeks. The 3 of us are running out as ambassadors to do this, but Anna's in Mexico, Lily's in Hawaii, so clearly I got the short end of the stick. But over the next 2 weeks, we want to hear from as many Johnsburg residents, non-residents, business owners as we can. So also, if you want to leave me your email, I'll forward to you the survey and the link to the survey if you want to forward it to other people that you know. Let's see. So what else do I want to say? I think that's it, really. Does anyone have any questions about it? What we're up to? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm wondering, how are you, working with, ORDA, which is, of course, 150% of the activity in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Which means 6 months out of the year. So that's a big chunk. How is that working out?
So ORDA is not officially part of this, so it's up to Lily and Anna and I to bring that into the conversation. And we've also been reporting out to the Economic Development and Marketing Committee. We're also reporting into the Community Development Corporation. I know Bowen is on that board. So that's a really good point. We can intentionally make sure to bring that into the conversation.
Well, excuse me again, the management of ORDA is beyond any question. I've known Bo for years and years, and Mike a little bit after, before Bo. But the big decisions at ORDA are made between Albany and Lake Placid. I didn't hear that you're talking to Dan Steck, or any of the people in Albany.
Yeah, that's.
They're the ones that make the decisions.
Yeah, so that's a great question. Thank you. So let me clarify the purpose and the scope of it. It's really a marketing initiative that will end up with assets and tools that we can use as a town to forward ourselves for tourism and branding so people know we're out here. It's not anything to do with policy. It's not anything to do with government. It's about marketing, tourism, advertising. The other piece of this that I forgot to mention, which I will now, dovetails beautifully with the comprehensive plan, which is a series of wayfinding signs. So that once we have this area branded, we're going to have signage out so people are welcomed to whatever it ends up being, the Southern Adirondacks or blah, blah, blah region. So it's really in service to bring awareness to people who are driving through and don't know we're here, to bring awareness, to invite people to live and make businesses here, which we know it's tough. I'm mindful of that conversation that we're all having tonight. But it's a piece of the puzzle. It's an important piece of the puzzle. If people don't know we're here and they don't know the fabulous offerings of Chester and Horicon and Johnsburg, then nothing's going to change. So this is an attempt to move public opinion toward knowing we're here and then wanting to be here, visiting, engaging. And then there's other mechanisms that are put in play to have them come live, work, and build businesses here. It's a great question. No, this is an ad hoc committee that Supervisor Bean, pulled together, and each town was asked to have representatives on this steering committee. It's purely a group that has come together to utilize the money from Warren County for tourism, making a website, making the brand. You bring up questions that I've already had, which is, okay, what after that? How are we going to maintain the website? What are we going to do? But as of right now, there's no formed plan in any way to create an entity. Now, whether we get fancy, and you might have heard me say over a glass of wine before, if we create our own Southern Roost, You know, maybe we will, but as of right now, it's just an ad hoc committee to produce these assets for the towns to use singularly and together. It's a great forward-thinking thought. Mindy? Yeah.
And really, it's just the culmination of the idea that people are not driving by us because we don't have an identity, right? The individual towns, we just don't have enough off-tax marketing reach in and of ourselves to get it out there, to reach beyond just the skiers that come or the, the red rail. It's not about the individual businesses, it's about the region. And it is about having an
Yeah.
identity to the region. Because when people say they're going up to northern Adirondacks, they're thinking, oh, it's Lady Lake Placid, right? So getting us that identity across from Horton all the way across here is just one piece of that. And again, continuing to ask Horton County for, us each spending $50,000 collectively is much more effective altogether rather than just individually.
Thank you. And you'll notice when you look at the survey, there's a graphic on the top that shows the 3 towns and there's 6 stars. Like you literally have to drive by all the towns, Route 9, Route 9N, Route 28, Route 8, the Northway. And so we really are the gateway. And so we're worth distinguishing ourselves as something unique and special in the Adirondacks with our own offerings. So that's really the purpose of it for now. The survey is really important, and as I said, the questions are fun. Like, if your town were a famous person, who would it be, right? So have fun with it. Be honest. It's anonymous, and have fun with it, and be truthful. So yes, we're at the gather. This is phase 1 of gathering, and then Lily and Anna and I will be back for public workshops and maybe privilege of the 4 to share logo concepts and another survey and different ideas. So we're in this together, and the more feedback we get from people who live and work and care here, the more, I think, accurate and holistic we can be about what we say about Johnsburg. So see me after. I'll put the papers and go hang out. And at that end of the table, and just, talk to me, fill out a survey, scan the QR code, give me your email, whatever you want to do. But I would ask each of you, please, to participate because you're here, you're at the town board. I know you care, or you wouldn't be here. So, anything
Thank you,
else?
Christine. Thanks.
Yeah.
Anybody else for privilege of the floor? Mr. Horvath, come on down.
I just wanted to make an announcement that we're going to be doing a river sweep at Riverfront Park on May 3rd from 1 to 4 o'clock. This is a great thing for our town. We are associated with Riverkeeper, the Hudson River, and there's 300 plus sites, and we get advertised as one of the most northern sites to take care of our beautiful Hudson River. We'll be doing some gardening, some tree planting, and cleaning up along the Evelyn Green Rotary Trail along the Hudson. Everybody's welcome. You can sign up through Riverkeeper, or you can just come down and sign a little waiver form with me. Okay, that's it. Just want to make sure you all knew that we're taking care of our parks. Thank you.
Thanks, Peter.
Thank you.
May 3rd. 1 to 4. Anybody else? Privilege of the floor. Seeing none, call for motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much. No, no, I meant to. I completely forgot. And the funny, and the weird thing was, is I spent time this morning